What's up, everybody? Soul here with another sort of Convallaria video, and today we're going to be talking about Tower of Adversity. I'm going to give you a couple tips on to help you through the beginning of these fights. I'm going to go through difficulty 1, 2, 3, and 4 with, of course, your upper and lower class on each one, or zones, sorry, and we'll discuss what you can do to defeat it. I'd love to see and hear your comments, your feedback on this. Let me know what your values are at the end of this and how you rank, and hopefully this will benefit you in your gameplay while trying to take on these Tower Adversity challenges. So yeah, without any further ado, let's get right into it. So first up, we have difficulty 1, upper zone. And what you have here is you have a hangman that you have to defeat. As you can see, my team that I have brought into this fight is Sophia, OG, Sophia, SP. We have our girl Pamina, Coco, and Akambe. We have to defeat the hangman. He's going to retreat 2 times, and we just have to get at him, deal damage, and defeat him a total of 3 times to win the fight. Nothing else matters in this fight. The other units can be skipped as long as you defeat him. It's also worth noting that once you defeat him, and you'll see it here in a minute in this fight, and he retreats, he does not gain HP back. He summons more allies, but he does not gain HP back. Really, really important stuff there. Kamina closes the gap. She's got a bit of a teleport there. It's going to provoke. He's going to debuff. Let's take a quick look at that. So this is what he's got on us right here. HM Reputation Infamous. Gain the terrifying infamy after defeating an enemy. That's what he's throwing on us right there. We're not too worried about that, but when casting a skill comes 1 extra energy. This effect can be eliminated with Righteous Rebuke. And then Sword Debate. Units with terrifying infamy consume 1 additional energy when casting a skill. And then Righteous Rebuke is an ability you're going to pick up in this and be able to utilize. Also, side note, you should take a look at these books on the ground. This is in anytime you're on this map and you see these books on the ground. It has a trigger effect, intelligence file. It allows the character who picks it up to act again, resets cooldown of all skills, and also grants 100 TP. Really, really good stuff there. Just want to throw that out there as extra notes. This guy throws down these bombs, don't necessarily go off right away. Let's get our Shadow Assassins out, get those hits out. Getting these attacks in. USB's fire. Her heals are pretty phenomenal. I really like her. What she's able to bring to the team. It's been fantastic. Now that's his ability there. It dashes forward to a certain target. If you're lower level and rank in the game and you're struggling with this fight, be aware of his ability to move and close gaps. Now, as you see, he retreats. His health does not return. That is because we have debuffed him with a no heal. That's a really big deal. Now these Shadow Assassins, when they hit, you saw it earlier, they gave him the debuff of no healing available. I can't get over to him to show you. Well, I'll stop it on my next turn when we're closer to him. But that is a big deal. It stops him from that heal. Here comes Pamina. She's so awesome. Great animation. So as we see right here, he's got no healing received, and he's scorched, and of course he has attack down. That no healing received is vital here in this fight. I hope you're able to utilize it and take advantage of it to the fullest. So because of that Scorch, and he loses that 10% HP at the end of his turn, he's defeated there again, and he goes back again and gets injured again. And the fight's wrapped up before you even know it. Moving right along, we've got difficulty 1 lower zone. And right here, you're going to see we're fighting the Papal State and a couple hired archers. And you've got all these daggum... What are these things called? It's not my turn. Let's see. These pylons is what I always want to call them. Health pylons. But they're like Luxite health pylons. We got our girl Layla. She sets up her alert. Takes out 2 right away. Now when they blow up, they hit the enemy and they infect the enemy. They hit them with that infection. These are Luxite pillars. They recover 10 HP per turn. These can be a nuisance. It's very important that you target them as soon as possible. Try to use characters that have a lot of AoE to help you out. As you can see in this fight, we have brought Layla, we have brought Gloria, we have bought SP Rawia. Now we brought Hasna because of her range and ability to reach. And then we brought August and Homa. Each time you defeat one of the units with the shadowy aura is what I'm calling it, it's going to hurt. Well, anytime you defeat these units, it's going to hurt the main target there, that lash. However, defeating the shadow units usually brings in more. Fantastic AoE hit. This is a reoccurring theme in Tower Adversity. The more units you defeat, the more damage you're doing to the main boss. And you generally just want to keep defeating the adds. There's more of those units. Setting up another alert. Great AoE damage there. Homa comes up. We're smacking him up. He tried to heal through it, but it just wasn't enough. Now in these fights you'll see I'm kind of just powering through them. You might not be able to do so. You might be forced to hold a formation, kind of act a little more tactfully and double up on these units. And if so, that's fine. There's nothing wrong with that. Just make sure you're taking out those Luxite pillars. Pylons, whatever you want to call them. And that's that. Next up is difficulty 2, upper zone. And as you can see right here, we've got Akambe, who is our target, and he's going to consistently summon these shadow assassins to fight, and we have to defeat him and defeat them as quickly as possible. In this fight, I brought Agatha, Gloria, August, Homa, Hasna, and SP Rawia. If you're a higher level, you're not too fussed with this fight. You're going to power through. If you're a lower level, be aware of those shadow assassins and the marks on the ground, showing that there's more coming in. You're going to want to position accordingly to ensure that you're not getting overwhelmed by the numbers. Damage done directly to Akambe is nerfed a bit. We're going to do good damage to him by destroying or defeating those shadow assassins. Go ahead and double the speed up a little bit so you can see. He's going to gather us up and hammer us with an ability. And there's more of those shadow assassins. We throw the spear down, do some decent damage, And then come in with some more hits and more damage. Your goal in this fight is to keep damaging him by defeating those assassins. And of course, if you're a high enough level, or you can just strong arm it, let's go after him. Next is difficulty 2, lower zone. This is a big fight where Var is in the middle and we have Kaya as an ally, and you're only able to bring 5 to the fight. If you notice, she has several abilities that I'm throwing out. Luxite Bomb. She's got a huge, massive AoE infection bomb that you can use, as well as a few other tactics. Those bombs can get placed. She's got her rapier that's from the story. She can use as a ranged attack, and you can quickly take out quite a few enemies. Can't wait to get Kai as a character. She's got some interesting abilities there, as we just saw. Layla comes up, uses her ability. As you can see, we're using Layla, Pamina, Coco. We have SP Sapphire over there in the fight, as well as OG Sapphire. This guy gap closes. You have to keep Kaya alive, so be aware of that. I teleported Pamina up right there with my tactic, and then used her ability to land right in the middle of that group. We strong arm him. And we're well on our way to defeating everyone. Speed it up a bit through the animation. Quickly take him out. Good damage there. Now in this fight, taking Var out right away is not necessarily the play. You have to eliminate everyone, as says right here. So take your time, move in slowly, defeat everyone. Alert up every turn there for Layla. Rocking it. Not necessarily the most useful the last 2 turns, but it is what it is, and we end it here with Coco's hallucinogenic shroom. Next up, Zone 3 Upper. As you can see, we brought August, Gloria, Homa, and we also brought Tristan, Agatha, and SP Rauia. We were fighting Fernando and his goons. He's kind of hiding there in the middle, cowering, and you have to come in and defeat him. His goons have a decent amount of damage resistance, and they can be pretty bulky. I come in and I target everyone all alike. And it does some damage to him to defeat his goons. As you can see, he is sharing the damage with his minions, so it pays to get rid of them, but you also defeat them by just attacking him. Coming in with the AoEs. We want that barrel out of our way. Love Agatha. Good stuff there. She get the heals up on her team too. Get the lance down. Coming over and smacking up Mr. Fernando with Homa now. He puts a dodge up on himself and summons 2 more goons. We know there's a dodge. We go ahead and try. That dodge remains through the whole turn, regardless of the effort. AoEs still go through like there's no issue. You can knock the enemies off, as you see right there. It is a fantastic strategy, especially if you struggle with this fight and you're not able to do a lot of damage to them. And then as you can see, each turn he gets, he's summoning more. We use Divine Archer and bring in one just to get some extra damage on him. And we just continue to waylay. Now, this run, I want you to note, is not the most optimal run for those that are whales or far in the game. I'm not coming in looking to clear this all right away very easy or in the most effortless way possible. I just want to show the fight and how it progresses. I was actually pretty happy to go into these fights blind, not knowing what the strategy was on most of them, or at least in great detail, and just having fun with it. Quite a few enemies just been added. It's okay, Glory's got some AoE. And then of course we do a little bit of AoE damage there with Homa. Just keep smacking, step into that potion, hitting with the AoE. Fantastic stuff there. And we're gonna use that Luxite explosion, whatever you want to call it, sorry. Where Tristan basically uses her trait and comes in and wham bam, thank you ma'ams. Love it. Now for difficulty 3, lower zone. I have to admit, with Tristan, and forgive me, I haven't used her a whole lot since I've gotten her. I love her animation, but I haven't used her a ton. Let me know what you think of Tristan if you've been using her a lot down in the comments. I'm curious who all is an absolute fan of Tristan. I like her, but I just haven't fallen in love with her and wanted to use her all the time. And as you can see in this fight, we have a lot to defeat here with these enemies. Here's our big bad. He's going to keep summoning more and more of these enemies, and we're more or less going to just keep defeating them to defeat him. Now in this fight we brought Momo, Pamina, SP, Sophia, OG Sophia, Coco, and Layla. We set up that alert with Layla, and she's getting her damage in there. And then here comes Pamina. These enemies here can hit hard, so be wary of them. Good damage from Momo there. And we get some good damage in on the boss. That Hunter's Intuition, when they try to use their abilities, it does trigger Momo as long as they're within range. Enemies do spawn behind these barricades. It is worth your time to destroy these barricades, in my opinion. I did not do that until much too late in the fight. If I was trying to be more optimal, I would have done it sooner. If you're struggling with the fight, however, and maybe numbers are tough, destroy one barricade, and that will funnel enemies through that one barricade, and they'll work harder to go through it rather than destroy them, and that'll allow you to kind of control the flow of battle there with them. We're just moving up, doing what damage we can to destroy these bad boys. Momo comes over and smacks them around. Our Divine Archer doing a little bit of work there as well. I've never really cared for the Divine Archer as a tactic. I use it in Clash to find traps and things like that. However, to utilize him in these fights, he's been pretty useful. In these fights where you're fighting lots and lots of enemies to defeat the bosses, which I'm loving, by the way, he's had a lot more use in my mind. I don't mind having someone extra out there that kind of just helps zone the enemies, get a little bit of extra damage in, and so on. I can cast him multiple times throughout a fight, and he's not as expensive as, say, Ragnarok. Good stuff there. Now we got Pamina back here, kind of trying to soak up some of this damage from these guys, but unfortunately it just starts backtracking when we do that. A little bit of a misplay on my part, if I'm being honest. I should have destroyed the barricades and allowed them to come through. Regardless, that was the move I made, and that's where I'm at. Can't wait to get Layla started up more. We're getting more and more of those alert attacks. She's high up on my list for units that I want to star up. Tell me what you think. Have you started up Layla? Are you enjoying her? Drop down in the comments, tell me about it. So these pillars spawn and we defeated them, and as you can see right there, it drops a tarot. So this tarot is Magic Awakening. It grants a character who picks it up act again, which most tarots do, all tarots do, and then fully restores energy of all characters in the same category and immediately removes the cooldown of all skills. Really cool and beneficial thing right there. So when you defeat these towers, like this one right here, a monument, sorry, it's going to drop one of those bad boys for you. Make sure you take those out quickly to help you take out these enemies quickly. We're auto attacking with Pamina, which is not what I'd like to do if I'm being honest with you, but it is what it is. Beautiful stuff from our agent, clearing the way. Pamina over there in no man's land. Big damage there as you saw. Well, I'm sorry, big hit there as you saw. That boss smacks a wide area out. And then you saw earlier they had an AoE that went right down the middle. These things you want to avoid, especially if you're lower level. But if you're higher level, you're not fussed with it. It doesn't really bother you too much. Overall, I don't think the damage is that overwhelming and strong. You just have the threat of being overwhelmed by numbers. So if you keep your units together and locked in, for the most part, you should be able to handle the waves as they come. I've got my units spread out because I kind of overpower this, and I'm not really taking it too serious. We're going to speed it up now. These units to spawn. As you see, another tarot spawns there. Here comes another set of enemies in the back there with Pamina. As you saw, we stood on one of the summon spots, and so that just moved the units over, both with Coco and Pamina. So be aware, by standing on the summon spots, you don't stop them from coming in, you just force them into a new location. Yeah, let's get these attacks in there from SP Sophia. Fantastic stuff. Powering through this. Getting those hits in. Getting that damage in. That glorious epic animation. Pamina comes over, taunts them. fully clear the enemies up in the front, and here comes the next wave. I'm going to speed it back up again. And here they are. There's your next monument. As you see, we're getting AoE right down the middle. We need to clearing out a good number of them right there. Layla with that alert set up. Coco giving that iron pot stew, giving that happiness. Good stuff there. Momo putting in the work. Beautiful stuff there. Here comes that hit right down the middle. As you see, the damage isn't too high. However, take note, it does stun your allies. So be wary of that. If you have a unit, say Tear or something, or Terror Whisper, like Elegance, so the Empress I believe is what it is, regardless, you can remove those debuffs. We're closing in here on the kill. Nearly wrapped this fight up. Perfect. We want the counter. Our monuments have spawned back here in the back this time. So we had 2 spawn in the front. Let's pause this. Discuss it. We had 2 monuments spawn on the front. The second spawn on the monument is right where SP Sophia is standing. And then the third spawn for the monuments is right back here, back by the barricades. If you're struggling with this fight, try to take note of that, as it will help you to overcome this fight, to target those monuments and to get those Terros. Lots of enemies to kill, lots of spawns. So I like OG Sophia in this fight because she's able to have her own summons, and that's what you generally want. In these fights where you're killing lots and lots of enemies, you want more and more units that can take on more and more units within a single action or turn. And what I mean by that is when you have a unit that has alert abilities like Layla, who can attack up to 6 times in a single round, that's like 6 different attacks. Whereas most units only are able to attack once, twice, maybe 3 times, all depending on their abilities. Like August can attack like up to 3 times with some of his abilities, and SP Rowea able to attack say 4 times technically with some of her abilities. Those units really shine because they're able to attack so many times each and every round. It's really, really huge, and these fights are where they shine. Up next is difficulty 4, the upper zone. And so as you can see right here, we have brought Hasna, Gloria, Agatha, OG Rowea, Tear, and August. Getting our buffs and our speed up. You want to make sure that you block these enemies from hitting these crystals. If anything hits those red crystals, the fight is over. We use Gloria's Lance to stop him. He hits OG Rowea and then runs over and hits Gloria. Just because he's mean. Now we've brought Hasna because of her incredible range. And then Agatha just shreds, and she's also a good little bit of heals for our allies. As you see there. Net shared damage up. Remember, you don't want anything to hit these crystals, so destroying these guys that spawn in here, and they will spawn in every so often throughout the fight. These calamity spawn flying wing, as they're called. They'll come in and they'll broadcast where they're going to attack with a red outline. Be sure that they do not hit these crystals. If these crystals get destroyed, I said it earlier, but yeah, there's 100% HP to all non-humanity projections. So basically all of your characters. They will just kill. These Taros that start right here in the middle. Of course, you get a little bit of extra turn. One heals, of course. These are majorly beneficial. Be sure to utilize them as desired. Good damage there from Roia. And then we smack up that calamity flying wing. Now once you defeat these, they will be stunned, and they will remain stunned until you fight the bigger boss and defeat him. One thing I was expecting is for them to respawn and act again, but they never did. They stayed stunned throughout the whole fight. As you see there with August, I smack him just to make sure I can't fully kill them or something like that. Wasn't sure. But yeah, regardless, they stay stunned and just sit there. Now later in the fight, you're going to be waylaying on this big guy here. As you can see, you want to be sure that you bring the right team composition to allow you to hit him with everybody. What I'm saying here when I say this, and you'll see this later in the fight, you have 3 slots where you can hit him from melee range. Then past that, you're going to need ranged units to hit him. Plus, he's going to lay down a tile later that's going to spread, which we'll talk when that happens. That is going to burn your units. And so you don't want them to be moving too much in the middle of that fight. You want to try to have everybody locked in their spot as best as possible. Especially if you're not able to just strong arm this fight. And maybe your account is a bit younger than mine. There's that beautiful range from Hasna. And Gloria utilizing the multiple enemies to get bigger damage on her AoE. Decent damage and heals from Agatha. And there it is. As you can see, he laid down this burning tile and it is already spread. So this burning tile is black sludge. It seems to be alive. When a character passes by or stays, the corrosion is inflicted, lasting until the end of battle. So this corrosion is pretty gnarly stuff. Roar of corrosion increases damage over time taken by 100%. And then corrosion is a debuff at the end of each turn. The character loses 4% of the current HP. It cannot be stacked, but it also cannot be dispelled or immunized. It takes damage once when gained consecutively. So each step is what that translates to. Over this, you take a damage, 4%. So it's just like a Scorch, just a lesser form. We Warharm and get the damage. Damage boost, I should say. Good damage there from Hasna. Good damage there from Agatha. Almost 20,000 damage from Gloria. August comes over and smacks with his AoE. He almost hits for 19,000. Good old Roia with her basic attack. At 12,000. There's the next flying wings calamity deal. Hasn's got that beautiful range. We don't have to worry about moving around and getting after anything. And then Agatha's got some heals for our team. You teleport August over, and he gets some smack out. Now, once you defeat this guy for the first time, he kind of does a Voltron move and merges everybody. You've seen this fight before, however, just need to be aware that it does absolutely happen. Good speed boost from Terra there. We are going to use Gloria's Lance. Interestingly enough, it does remove the corrosion. Good smack there. You know, he's lining up for this AoE hit. The game wants you to move out of the way, or at least I feel like it's tricking you to. I don't know what kind of damage this would do to you if your account is a lower level. However, you do not need to move out of the way of this hit, in my opinion. You can soak it up. I think you should just do everything you can to heal up and prepare for that big hit, rather than taking all the extra damage of moving. As you can see, the damage is not that big. More of those wings. As you can see, Gloria's chewing some damage just walking through to get to these. And that is why it's not ideal for you to be moving around a whole lot. You want units to have huge, big range to help you with that. And you want your melee to kind of stay in place to keep hitting the boss. Good stuff there from Gloria. Now, as you saw, he just did his attack, didn't hit anything, and then just disappeared afterwards. So it's not the biggest deal in the world that you go in and get them. If you can't reach them and they're not hitting one of those crystals, as I was saying before, you can just let them waste away. Good damage there after the Warhorn, 21,000. 20,000 there from OG Roia. Through the fire. And almost 17,000 damage there from Hasna. And then you have difficulty 4, lower zone. This by far is my favorite fight in Tower Adversity and possibly all of Sword of Convallaria so far. This is a horde defense or wave survival where, as you can see, there's a ton of enemies. They are going to rush you and you just have to hold them at bay and defeat them. You're going to be given access to 3 different tactics, one of which is a spike trap that's going to stop the enemy in their movement and in their place. You're going to get an arrow tower, which you can see right here. You get a total of 2. And then you actually, to spawn that is, and then you're going to get a, I think it's called a bomb tower, but it's basically a tower that's the purple tower from Clash, and it's going to do an AoE hit, and it's not as powerful, but it still could have some utility. In this fight, we have brought SP Roia, SP Sophia, OG Sophia up on the top, and on the bottom we have Momo, Coco, and Pamina. Who does it better? Put it down in the comments. Who clears the waves and the enemies better? And of course, in this fight, which I should mention, as you saw, this unit right here kind of commanding and leading them. Oh, she's off the page. Can't see her. This is our target. But however, rushing her and hitting her doesn't do anything for us. The Frost Shaman, I believe is what she is. You're going to want to defeat all these enemies in order to do damage to her. It's a reoccurring theme in Tower Adversity so far, where you're destroying the adds, defeating them in order to do damage to the main boss. Decent damage there. Momo comes up, sets up that alert. Mina's got full attention of the enemies in front of her. Gonna smack them with her AoE. And we're doing that damage. Good stuff there.
Welcome.
They can't touch her. It's beautiful. Free damage, free kills. Good stuff there. Beautiful stuff there. Making sure those enemies do not get biased. That is of the utmost importance. You have to keep them out of that zone and marked behind us. Beautiful. Here comes Pamina with that awesomeness. Focus animation. I think I said it like 100 times. Just can't get enough of it. Your taunt, that strike back, it's just amazing. But here comes SP Roia. She is a breaker if ever I saw one. Just getting through the front line, doesn't care, does mad damage, hits everything. So many enemies, really great to see. Good wave clearing there. Good strong AoE hit there. Beautiful stuff. There's one of our arrow towers that we summoned in. And there's the bomb tower up top, which you can see its AoE outlined on the ground where it's about to hit. These bad boys do hit hard. Can't get overwhelmed by these enemies. It is super duper good to funnel them into a choke point and not walk into that wide area down there where they could just surround you. Decent damage from that bomb tower. Getting that iron pot stew rolling. Good stuff from SP Roia. Gotta love those heals. Good strike back. Look at that AoE damage flying off Espirolio. Clearing the waves. Setting that alert up on Momo again. And another AoE hit. Let them come. Momo will defeat them. Hit after hit. I am going to speed it up at this point. As you can see, there's a good amount of them. The general premise is clear. Just kill them as they come. They're going to lay down ice tiles. Just try to keep your people consolidated. Try to force them into a choke point. You have some terrain that helps you out. You do not need to push out as I did to get near that boss. You don't need to at all. Let them come. Force them into a small area with your few units and do as much damage as you can. I think it is healthy to try to fight them mid-bridge on both parts rather than so close to the zone, but I also don't think you should be pushing out. Fight mid-bridge just for your safety. Make sure you use those snare traps and ensure they don't get past. I would not use the snare traps until you see that they are starting to get by you, just to stop their movement. As you can see, we have a wolf right here that's about to go by us. I do believe I put a snare trap down to stop it. Unfortunately, the tower also targets it. Good stuff there as we kill all the enemies on this side. And as you finish and defeat them, instantly more will replace them. As you can see, we got a wolf right here. It's about to go right by Momo. It's in the space right next to that barricade. We're going to place down a spike trap for him there. And of course, that arrow tower does target him. Now, as you can see, Pamina has stepped out. She is quickly being overwhelmed. This is something you want to avoid, especially if you're not high level. You don't want this to necessarily happen. I'm not fussed, however. For those that are really far in the game and are really strong, they kind of get to just overpower this fight. Regardless of that, make sure that you are being careful, because even overpowering this fight, you can find yourself in a tricky predicament. Now, as you can see, we have that wolf right there, right behind Momo. It's hard to see, but we did put down a spike trap right there. We also put another bomb tower right here. We put an arrow tower right here. You can spawn them at multiple times. When you start the fight, these towers will be on recast, and they will not be available to spawn right away. Speeding the fight back up. Now, as you saw, each turn she is casting on her allies. So you've got a magical shield. Of course, they got that resistance and they got bloodthirsty. She is casting on them every so often and buffing them, equal to 100% of her magic attack, that little magical shield, giving them a nice little decent buff. Just be wary of that. Magic damage is probably not the premier choice here, but it still will go a decent way. If you're struggling on this fight, try to avoid that magic damage if you can, because she is granting them a magical shield. Beautiful stuff there. I want that menu gone. There it is. Good stuff there. Momo with that beautiful AoE. Step into the alert. Good stuff there. This is one of those fights where Ragnarok can do some pretty good stuff. However, you're probably not going to have a ton of TP to throw at it. But where they're all clustered up down here in this area, spawning in but not necessarily moving, a Ragnarok will absolutely slap a group. I ran Divine Archer again, as you can see. I've used it up there. But Ragnarok definitely might be the most optimal choice in this fight. Beautiful stuff there from Famina, just absolutely shredding them. And there you have it. Those are my fights for Tower Adversity 1 through 4. I will be showing and releasing Tower Adversity fights 5 and 6, and of course 7 once released. For now, this is where I'm going to stop. The next video will come out very, very soon. Drop down in the comments and let me know what you think, what you would have done differently, maybe other things that can help anyone else out with what you've discovered. Please be sure to get down in there and share it with everybody, as it absolutely is beneficial, and we love to support each other in this community of Sword of Convallaria. With that all said, thank you so much for watching. Huge shout out and thank you to my Patreon members. You guys make this possible for me to make the content and to get all of these things out to everybody, to make the pools, and to be a benefit to this community. Thank you so much. If you're interested in joining our Patreon, be sure to check the link out down below in the description. I'm so sorry. Also, if you're interested in joining our Discord community, we'd love to have you, where we like to discuss all things Sword of Convallaria and then some. Be sure to check that link down below in the description as well. And thank you so much for watching and getting this far. If you have, please drop me a like and subscribe, as it's absolutely beneficial to the channel and helps me out. Take care of yourself, and good luck in all of your Sword of Convallaria adventures. Hopefully you're smashing Tower Adversity. Until next time, I'll catch you later. Bye.